Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for another Journaling on a Budget video. And today we're going to make some of the wax seals. I saw Sonia was making some. She had got a wax seal kit. And then I saw Gail, and her last name starts with an A, but I don't know how to say it. She got some and was playing with them, and I thought, I really want to do that. And I actually do have a kit, but I can't get to it right now. So I was thinking, how could we do it very inexpensively and have it look just as nice? So these are the ones that I did. This is the very first one that I did, and it turned out well. And then I did this one, and this one it was so thin that half of it cracked off, and all I did was put a little bit of stick glue on there and stuck it back on. So that works out good. And this was the third one I did, and it turned out much better. And what I made these with, because the expensive part is the little seals themselves. So I made my own. So the first thing that I did was, remember back when we did in our craft series, we made a holder for our washi tape, and we cut off some pencils when we did that, and I said, keep those, you might need them later. Well, guess what? We are going to use them, because this morning I was thinking, what am I going to use for this? And I was trying to think of some kind of dowel or whatever, and I thought, oh, the pencils that we already cut them off. So here's 3 of them, and here are the 3 that I've already made. This one is just glued to a dime. And then this is a penny with the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and then this is a penny with a shield on the back. And that's what I used for all of these. Now this was my next set that I did, and I just tried it in different colors, and I thought that they turned out really fun. So I thought that I would come on and show you how I make them. So all you need to do is have an envelope. Now what I've done this morning, and I've just been playing, so I just was using some scrap paper and just kind of folding it up like an envelope, and then using that as my test. So you're going to want to play around with it first, kind of get, each time I got a little bit better. And so you're just going to want to play with it and kind of get the hang of it, how much wax to put on there and different types of things. And so if you just use some scrap paper, you can also still use these in your journals. You'll want to decorate them probably instead of just having plain white paper, but it's just something that you can test with without having like an envelope you love and then you go to seal it and you have a problem with it. The one thing that I did figure out too after I made this one was, you want to put it in your journal, but you really don't want them to have to ruin the wax seal. So if you do it like I just folded this piece of paper in thirds and put a little thing on it, when you do that, both ends are open. So you actually could put it in your journal this way, glue the back down, and then you can still slide something in there and they can pull it out, but you don't have to ruin the wax seal to get to it. So the wax seal can stay in your journal always. So that was just another cool little thing. Now what I did, because I was having a problem trying to hold this down and to hold my wax and to hold my flame, and if it didn't stay down, then the wax wouldn't stay right where I wanted it. So all I did was I just took a little bit of stick glue and just stuck it there on the point just to hold that down for me while I was putting my seal on. And what I used for my wax was just a plain old crayon. I got this set of 48 crayons at the Dollar Tree for $1. And so all you want to do is make sure that you peel off your paper, because you don't want your paper to start on fire. And so I just peeled the paper back about halfway or so that I knew that I wasn't gonna hit the paper before I got as much wax as I wanted, which it doesn't take a half a crayon of wax, but I just wanted to make sure it was out of the way. And then you're just going to melt it and let it drip. And then you're going to use one of your little stamps to stamp on it. Now, before we do that, let's make a couple, because I want to try these after we make them. I got to thinking, okay, first I got this. This is a half of a franc. And yep, it says half a franc. And I don't have any idea where I got it, but I thought that that would be kind of cool, because that's not my monetary money. And so to me, it looks really neat. Now, the one thing that I want to do is, this has got a lady on the front, and she's what I want to be my seal. So what I did was I used a permanent marker, and I made a mark on it. I left my permanent marker out here, but again, as always, I don't know where it went. Oh, it's right here in front of me. Jiminy criminy. Okay, so I want this lady to be what I'm going to seal with. Now, the one thing I kept doing with my first ones is I put them on there sideways, upside down. So what I did was, this is the top. And so I just made a mark right there because I can see the top. I made a mark on the side of my coin and then turned it over and just kind of put a little mark right there, a little arrow, so that I know that that's my top. So that when I go to press that seal on there, because my wax is melted and I've got to get the seal on there quick, I know which way is the top. And then I just used hot glue. Now, I did this to play with it, but I will probably go back and redo all of these with some kind of a permanent glue. And we did get a permanent gel glue in our Build Your Stash and Craft series from the dollar store, and that works really well. So I will probably go back and do all of these that way later on. But I wanted to play with it right now, and hot glue grabs and dries so quickly that I don't have to wait for it to dry. When I'm all done playing, then I'll put the good glue on there and let it sit, so the next time I want to play with it, then I'll be able to use them. So I'm just going to slide that aside and let that actually dry pretty good. And then I actually got to thinking, I was looking through my metal bits and I found some charms. So I'm going to try it with charms, because who says it has to be round? And I don't want this little circle on the top, so I'm just going to use a pair of my pliers and I'm just going to work that back and forth till it comes off. And that came off really easy. There's a little bit here that I want to try and get off of there, but that's not going to make that much of a difference. There we go. The reason that my pliers have masking tape around them is because these pliers have grooves in them, and when I'm working with wire, those grooves make marks and dents on your wire. So if you wrap it with a little bit of masking tape, now I need to change this one actually, it's really gotten bad, but if you wrap some masking tape around those grooves, then you can still use them and it won't mess up your wire. So that's why there's masking tape on there, if you're wondering. And so I'm just going to take, this is just a little fleur-de-lis charm, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to take one of my pencil bits, just put some glue on there, and press that on and hold it for a second. And I just hold them for a minute till they're kind of set, and then I just slide them aside and let them sit till they dry. And then the last one is, I got this little sun charm. And so again, I'm going to wiggle that top loop off because I don't want that on there. There we go. That worked good. I was kind of afraid I might break his little fire off of there. Okay, so I'm just going to do this last one, put a little bit of glue on there, and press that in. Now, if you're super patient, you can go ahead and you can do these with the regular glue and let them dry overnight first. But if you want to play, this is a good way to play. And then if you find one where it's like, oh, I don't really like the way that one looks, you can just peel it off the pencil, because hot glue peels off really easily. And then you haven't ruined something that you maybe could use for something else. Okay, so now we've got that done. And we'll go ahead, and all I'm going to do is, I have one of these. You can use a regular lighter too. They get kind of hot when you hold them for a long time. So I'm just going to hold this above right where my point is and let it drip onto, and don't get it too close to your flame, to your actual, whatever you call this, lighter type thing, because you don't want it to drip into your lighter. So you're just going to drip some on there. And then go ahead, we'll start with our frank and just push it in there. Let it sit for a second and then take it off. And there we go. Now there's our seal. Isn't that cool? This one didn't turn out super well. It doesn't make a really big dent because there's not as much of a dent on that coin. So I actually might take that one apart and not use it later. So let's try the other two really quick. And I'm still going to go ahead and make them look like an envelope because I may want to use them in my journals for something. Let's see here. I want to start right there. And I just want to make sure I go to the middle. My other one was very crooked, so I'm going to try and make this one a little better. Maybe we'll just kind of round this one off at the top. Although it doesn't matter because your wax covers it up. Put that one there. Fold our flap down. And then we'll go ahead and let's just pick a different color. Let's do pink. I'm just having really fun with this, and it's so easy and it's so cheap. I mean, all you need to have is just one of these lighters and some crayons and anything that's metal to press down into there. The metal does not grab to the wax. That is the reason I think that they were made out of metal, because it doesn't, because metal is a cold object, and so it comes out fairly easy. Now we'll have to see with the charms, because they're very detailed how they work. But let's go ahead and put this one on here. And you want to make sure that your surface is flat. So like I hadn't burnished this down on this end, and so it was kind of puffy. And if it's not pretty flat, what happens is your wax will start running one way or another. So we're just going to put the pink and just melt it on too. And then I just, you want to kind of move it around a little bit so that it goes where you want it to go. And then we'll just take our fleur-de-lis and press that in. Let it sit for a minute. Now we'll have to see. And have a place to set your crayons. So because they'll still be a little bit drippy, don't do it on your regular fabric tablecloth because it makes a mess. I know. That's really cool. I like that one. And it's hard. I don't know if you can see them or not. I can't see them very well through the camera, but I hope that you can see them. See that? Isn't that cool? I love that. I really like the fleur-de-lis. Definitely keeping that one. And then our final one, we've got the sun. So we'll just go ahead and make one more little envelope. And then we will be all done. And you will be able to go and play and make your own, because it really is fun to do. Yep. That's too long, so we're just going to fold it up to there. Because really, it's just for a show and tell, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It never has to be perfect anyways. We'll just do that one in, let's see. Let's do it in, I like this kind of maroony color. And it takes a little bit once the point, I forgot to glue this one down. So what's happening is I'm getting some wax on top and some of it is flowing underneath. We're just going to go with it since we've already, and because I didn't glue it down, it's puffy in the middle. So it's kind of running a bit. We'll call that good. And try our sun. Now on the sun, I think what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to put at the right, I'll put it right on my eraser of my pencil. I will put a mark because I didn't know which way. This does actually have a face on it. Now that kind of stuck a little bit. Didn't come out very well because I took it off too quickly. And the whole thing moved when I went to push it down because I did not. Let me see. This is the top of my face. So this is going to be just putting a little arrow on my, there we go. So I know that that way is now going to be up. And I want to try that one again and do it correctly this time. And see how that works out, because I'm not sure if it didn't work out because it's a thin charm or if it didn't work out because that flap was moving. And so we will find out so that you'll know. But all you need to do is just play around with things. I don't really think you could hurt anything very much. Let's definitely remember this time to glue our flap down. Uh-oh. There goes my washing machine, and it has blankets in it. It sounds like it's getting a little off kilter. I hope you can't hear that. Okay, so for the last one, we'll do it again with, let's do, because it's a sun, let's go ahead and do it in orange. Just this dripped, and the biggest thing is just try and make sure that you have it where you want it. It's going to get off kilter. It's going to get very loud. I have to say, hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. Now I'm going to have to put these two together to upload. I won't be able to go directly from YouTube, or from my phone to YouTube, but we'll just have to see. Okay, now this has already gotten hard. Not super hard because I just went and turned my machine off. I'll take care of it in a minute. But it is solid. So I'm going to drip some more on top and see if that kind of makes it a little softer. See what happens when we try and push into it. Since that happened, we might as well use it as a learning experience to see what's going to happen if we let something get hard for some reason. The phone rings and you have to go answer it or something. Okay. And now we'll take our sun. My arrow's pointed this way. Oops. And I moved it. This sun has a very rounded face, so you're probably something flat will be better. Or remember that if it has something that's rounded, you're going to have to be very careful not to let it move. Because I let this move, so I don't think I'm actually going to get a face unless it filled back in again. Oh, not too bad. The face is rounded, so the little flames are sitting back a ways. So they didn't show up very much, but the face did. And even though it moved, and it must have sunken down a little bit into what was already there. So you can go ahead and try it. You know, if you have let it get too cold, you can go ahead and put some more on top and then just still do it. I'm going to try and put a little bit more on there and just see if I can kind of get it deep enough to get my flames. If not, I probably won't use this one. I love the face, except it's just a little bit too small. If the face itself was bigger, then I wouldn't care that I didn't get the little sun rays on there. But I'm going to kind of drip a little bit more right around the edges to try and make those a little bit thicker. Okay. Don't let it move this time. Give it a good press. And then just let it sit till it cools for a second. Looks like I might get some on this side, not so much on this side, so I'm actually going to kind of try and rock it that way a little bit. Rock it down on this side to maybe get those. And then lift. Nope. Rocking it down kind of made it stick, I think, and pulled it right out of there. So, but if I do make it thicker, I will be able to use this. So I'll just remember that the first time to try and make it thicker and try it. Don't rock it, keep it just flat and let it do its thing. So that one didn't work so well, and I may have to try and find something else like this that's flatter. But even, you know, just look around at what you have. You know, I saw this is just a little necklace, and the back of this necklace, now this is a little bit big, I think, for what I don't know that I would want to use it, but the back has a really gorgeous pattern to it. So if you wanted to make a bigger seal, this would be really good for that. You would have to try and figure out how to get this out of your way so that this would lay flat, or put your, and it'd be awfully hard to put it right on the edge of something because you're going to be in the middle of your envelope. So, but you know, but look around and see what you have and see if you can find just different things that are metal that have a cool pattern. The fleur-de-lis was really great, and I still like the coins. I think that they are just so fun, but they are easy to make. You may have some mishaps, but then again, what does it matter if you have a mishap when you haven't really spent a fortune to make your own kit for the wax seals? So thank you very much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. I hope that if you try this, that you have fun doing it, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.